The story of Tilo the Tapir. In the midst of the green jungle, amidst the thick undergrowth and the shade of giant trees, lived a young tapir named Tilo. Tilo was an extraordinarily shy creature. His short trunk would twitch nervously if a butterfly leaned too close, and the sound of a distant snapping twig was enough to make him freeze in place before finally retreating quietly behind the leaves. While other animals like Kiko the monkey would swing and cheer from the highest branches, Tilo preferred to be alone on the edge of the calm river. He often watched from afar as his friends played. "Come on, Tilo, join us," called Rara the deer. But Tilo would just shake his head slowly and slip away. It wasn't that he disliked them, he was just too afraid of being the center of attention. One day, the peace of the forest was disturbed. The dry season came on longer than usual. The river began to shrink and food became increasingly difficult to find. Along with that, a new threat arrived. One evening, a deep, rumbling roar shook the entire forest. It was the sound of Stripe, a large tiger who usually lived far away in the mountains, now descending to search for prey. The entire forest was gripped by fear. No one was more afraid than Tilo. He barely left his safest hiding place, his body trembling every time he heard the rustle of the night wind. A few days later, Tilo was very cautiously looking for a drink in the remnants of the river. Suddenly he heard a shriek he recognized. It was the sound of Pip the young mouse deer, but the shriek was full of terror. Carefully, Tilo peered from behind a clump of ferns. His heart felt like it stopped beating. There, on the edge of a steep ravine, Pip the mouse deer was trapped. His leg was pinned by a small landslide of rocks and earth, the result of his reckless play with Kiko the monkey on a brittle branch above him. And the sight became much worse. From the shadows of the trees across the path, Stripe appeared. The tiger walked slowly, his yellow eyes fixed on the helpless Pip. He knew he had found an easy meal. "Help! Kiko! Anyone!" Pip shrieked in panic. Kiko, still struggling on the ravine wall, was too far away to help. Every cell in Tilo's body screamed, "Run! Hide!" This was his greatest fear. He started to turn, his body shaking violently. He could run to the river and dive. Stripe would never catch him. But then he heard Pip's shriek again, a heart-wrenching cry of despair. Tilo stopped. He stared at Stripe, who was now preparing to pounce. He looked at Pip, who was resigned to his fate. Something inside Tilo, something stronger than his fear, ignited. Just as Stripe leaped, a strange and extremely loud high-pitched sound broke the silence. "No!" Everyone turned. Tilo stood in the open between Stripe and Pip. He was trembling from trunk to tail, but his feet were planted firmly on the ground. Stripe growled, angry at the interruption. He now shifted his attention to Tilo, a larger prey. Tilo knew he couldn't fight, but his eyes quickly scanned his surroundings. He saw something, a large pile of rocks and rotten wood on the side of the cliff, right above the narrow path where Stripe stood. Without a second thought, Tilo did the most unexpected thing. He didn't run away. Instead, He ran forward, not to attack the tiger, but to get past him. Stripe was startled by his prey's action and took a step back. That instant was enough. Tilo slammed his entire heavy weight into the pile of rocks and rotten wood with full of force. Crash! With a deafening roar, a massive landslide occurred. Rocks and tree trunks tumbled down, hitting the path, cutting off the way exactly where Strap had just been standing. The tiger leaped backward just in time, roaring angrily because he had nearly been crushed. Now he was separated from Pip and Tilo by an impassable wall of debris. With one last frustrated growl, Stripe turned and disappeared into the forest. The forest became quiet. Tilo, breathless, immediately went over to Pip. With his strong trunk, he began to push the rock, spinning the mouse deer's leg until he was free. "You saved me, Tilo," Pip sobbed, hugging Tilo's front leg. That night, Tilo was the hero of the green jungle. Since that day, he was no longer Tilo the shy one. He was still quiet Tapir who loved peace, but he no longer hid. He would join his friends, walk with his head held high, and his voice was clearly heard. Tilo had learned not to let fear stop you from doing the right thing. In times of urgency, even the most fearful heart can find the courage to act.